currently we have a home that's a rental. So the monthly payment is, let's say, $400, but we pay $1,000, but we pay it every time that it's due. So are we doing that incorrectly? Because we wanted to try to pay it down, but it seems like from what you're telling me that we should pay the payment and take the extra money and pay it at a different time or something like that.
Well, timing is important. The other thing is when you do something to come up with a good plan, you need to know what you're getting for it so that you can say, you know what, maybe I should do something else because the something else would be a better plan. So here's my question. When you pay your extra $1,000, how much interest are you saving?
I don't know.
There you go. That's where the bank wants us. Did you know banking's the only place where we give extra money and we don't know what we're buying when we do that?
No.
If you went to the grocery store and gave them $1,000, listen, you want to see $1,000 worth of groceries.
Right.
So when you go buy clothes, you go to the department store, you want to see $1,000 worth of clothes. When you give the bank an extra $1,000, we don't see the result of that $1,000. And banking is expert for years getting everyone, not just you, I mean everyone, to do the same thing. Give us the extra money. We'll lower the amount of principal that you're paying, but we won't tell you how much interest you just saved. Let me get a little bit of information about your current mortgage, and let me give you some idea where you are with that. How would you like to know?
Okay.
So, do you have any information on the principal and interest payment for your current mortgage? If not, I can help you to figure it out.
Yeah, I don't think I
All
have
right. So,
anything.
as best as you can remember, how much was the amount that you borrowed, and was it a 30-year loan?
It was a 30-year loan.
Okay. So, about how much did you borrow? It doesn't have to be
A
exact.
hundred, 115.
115,000. Okay. 115,000. And how much is your interest rate?
3.3%.
3.3%. Okay, close enough. If this is close, your principal and interest payment, this does not include taxes and insurance because that has nothing to do with how to pay down the loan. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So your principal and interest is right around $503.65. All right. And how long have you been in this loan? Approximately
2 years.
2 years. So that would be 24 payments. So let me take a look. First of all, when you signed this loan, the bank said on $115,000, okay, 3.3%. Here's how much interest they want over 30 years, $66,314. Now, I've never said I was a math genius, but does $66,000 seem like it's 3.3% of 115,000?
No.
No, it's actually 57.664%. It's over half. So how in the world we get to 3.3? That's number one. So number two, let's go down to the very first payment. Very first payment, $187.40 goes to principal, $316 goes to interest. Your very first year on this loan, here's how much principal's paid down, here's how much interest was paid down. Your very first year. You paid this loan down by $2,283.13, and it cost $3,760.67 in interest to do that if you weren't paying extra. In 2 years, 24 payments, that would be $4,642.77 of your hard-earned money going to principal and over $7,444 going to interest. So you're putting about an extra $1,000 on this loan, right?
No, so we're paying a total of $1,000.
Oh, so how much extra is going on over and above your payment?
At least 500.
At least $500. Okay. So if we were to do $500, if you can see this, your principal payments are like in the $180 range. Okay. And even after 2 years, they're still at $199 at the end of 2 years. So we're still in under $200 a month going to principal. Okay. So if we could do $500, let me show you here on this amortization schedule on line 3. When we add up the principal payments, you'll have $563.75 in principal paid. Okay.
Okay.
563. If you prepay that, so in other words, give the bank an extra $560 at this point, you knock off about 3 payments and save yourself about $947 in interest.
Okay.
So even now, if you pay an extra $500 or so, you're still almost saving about $900 in interest by prepaying that $500. Isn't that valuable information to you?
Yes.
Now, let me ask you this. If you knew by paying an extra $500, you were saving about $900 in interest, would you have altered your plan?
No.
You'd be okay with the $900 in interest savings?
So that's just the entire savings?
No, I mean, every time you do it,
Oh,
every time you put
I mean,
500 down, you would save about 900 in, at least in the early part of the loan, you would save about $900 in interest. Every month you paid an extra $500. Wouldn't you be?
good,
Go
but
ahead.
if I could save more, I would be
Mm,
interested in saving more.
you'd be interested in saving more. So by having that information, now you could come up with some different ideas. Huh.
Yes.
So what if you had a little bit more money available to you than the $500? You'd be tempted to say, what would $700 do for me? Or what would $1,000 do for me? But you can't do that. Why? Because we don't even know what the original $500 is doing for us.
Right.
Once you know, you can come up with a plan, correct?
Yes.
How about that?
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life. And it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
I'm going to go through the P.I.L.L method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.